Hi everyone. I feel like I need some peppers and onions, but I was just going to make this recipe by itself. And it doesn't call for peppers, but I think it needs some. I'm just going to cut one up real quick. Alright, hi! Alright. So, my son's asleep. I came home and the house was like quiet. My husband's just sitting there and he's asleep. So I get to just cook and it's quiet. This is very strange. This pepper. But yeah, so I'm gonna make baked chicken tacos. I've never made these before, but my friend Joanne, she makes these and they look really good. And it's pretty simple. So I always am adding things to a recipe. So it calls for chicken, and voila, my husband fantastically cooked this for us, and it's all ready to go. And I am actually just going to add some peppers because that's what I do to recipes. I always add things. And I'm just always adding veggies where I can. So I am going to just cut up this yellow pepper really quick. We're going to make our taco seasoning homemade. I never use packet taco seasoning or, seasoning that comes from a box. We always just make our own, and it works really well. So I'll show you the recipe I'm going to use to make that. And then for the tacos, for the baking part of it, for my husband, I'm going to do the crunchy tacos. And I'm not sure, I don't think Caden's going to like that. So for me, I'm actually going to try baking them in the white corn tortillas that I have. I'm pretty sure they're still good. If not, we'll be using the hard shells. So like I said, I'm just cutting up this pepper really quick. Oh, so excited, tomorrow's Friday. Feels like a very long week this week. Probably just with me not feeling good. So I'll be very ready to get some rest this weekend. So it's we're gonna make the taco seasoning, and we're gonna make it with oregano, cumin, chili powder, paprika, sea salt, and pepper. However, it also calls for coriander, but I don't have coriander. So I'm not going to use it. I don't have it. Alright, so just cutting this pepper up really quick. Try not to get the seeds in it. I'm going to try one other new thing as well, and it's I'm going to use some diced tomatoes that have green, actually has lime juice and cilantro in it. And I thought it had green chilies in it. Hey Brittany, how are you feeling? How are you doing, love? How's that baby to be? Getting ready. Counting that countdown now, right? Soon. Alright. So I just cut up these peppers really super quick because I decided that I wanted peppers in this as well. This actually calls for you to cook the chicken. Yeah, you look great though. I think you look great. Super cute belly. So it calls for you to cook the chicken in the skillet with everything. But I actually, since I got to have Ricky kind of cook things ahead of time, I don't have to do that. So let's make our seasoning. So I'm going to do, out of the 21 Day Fix Extreme book, I'm modifying the Smoky Southwest seasoning, and it'll make taco seasoning just fine. So I'm going to just put this on, let's see, I gotta hold it down, alright. Come on. Alright, so we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of chili powder. And I'm actually just going to put this in a little bowl. I just need a little bowl. Kids' bowls come in really handy for that. So if I have my seasoning teaspoons anywhere, I have no idea where those are. Alright. Tablespoon? Alright, tablespoon. Hey, Hillary. Alright, so 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, cumin, however you say it. So 1, 2, alright. I swear, like, all the recipes that are amazing have this in it, and I'd never cooked with cumin until I started doing the fix. I feel like that's a shame because it's so good, but I didn't know about all the recipes, and I honestly never made, like, homemade taco seasoning or anything like that until I started doing this. Alright, so I'm just getting some peppers going in the pan right now, just to saute those up super quick. And I got my tea. Alright, so where did we leave off? We got the coriander I don't have. Onion powder is a half of a teaspoon, and since there's like none left in here, I'm just going to shake a little bit. And then we have the oregano. Garlic powder is half of a teaspoon. I got a new one of this because, you know, we use this all the time. If I can even get it in there. Alright, half of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then half a teaspoon of oregano. It calls for smoked paprika, but I just have regular paprika. So let's get my half a teaspoon of oregano in there. And half a teaspoon of paprika. This is probably just more for color. The smoked, I imagine, would have helped a little flavor, but that's okay because we just want taco seasoning. And then some sea salt. 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Now, I don't like cilantro, but I'm not sure how it's going to be cooked in this tomatoes, and I imagine the lime juice will give it a different flavor, so I'm going to try it out. I'm going to go for it. So, here's the seasoning. You can see, I can never get this right. So we'll mix this up. Smells like taco seasoning to me. Alright, so that's good, and we can put this book away. So it says to add, so over medium heat, cook the chicken, add the oil. So I just got these peppers sauteing. I'm going to turn my oven on before I forget. Top 6 shelves with 1 blue container of cheese and bake. Okay. So we're cooking those up. We're going to open up the, hey Charlie, we're going to open up these diced tomatoes. So I got to wake Caden up when I'm done, but I definitely wasn't going to wake him up until this was in the oven, right? Who would do that? No sane mom would wake their child up when they wanted to cook dinner. That's craziness. So I will wake him up, and he will still go to bed when he needs to. Hopefully that means he's feeling much better and he's sleeping, or he played. So it smells fine. So I don't like raw cilantro, but this will be cooked, so I imagine it'll be a little different. And I haven't had it in a very long time, but I avoid it on any recipe that calls for it. Alright, so basically this is so easy, this recipe. So we have, because that's what I always do, I add things. So we have peppers, and we have tomatoes. I think these are like the perfect tomatoes. I'm going to turn this down. Ooh. Get the chicken in there. Oh, seriously. Ricky did such a great job cutting that up, didn't he? Oh, Ricky. Hey, Carly. Alright, so I'm going to stir this up just so that when we add the seasoning in, that looks like a really yummy taco, right? With some, I have a tomato to cut up and add on top is a fresh tomato and some spinach or romaine. And I have guacamole that's going on this, but they'll put cheese. I'm just on my 10th day of not eating any cheese. The only cheese I've had is ricotta cheese. I'm not going dairy free, I just haven't had any cheese. Pretty proud of myself. I also haven't been eating any chocolate during the week, only on the weekends. Pretty proud of myself there too. Alright, so there's the seasoning, so let's get that kind of mixed around. So you pretty much could add whatever you want. Ooh, runaway chicken. Yep, I'm putting it back in. Pretty much add whatever you would like to this. So basically, so far, this is just homemade taco seasoning. The recipe calls for a packet, but I would always go with homemade. And then chicken, diced tomatoes, and then really that's all originally it calls for. And then I just added the peppers because I'm always wanting to have more veggies. And that looks super yummy, right? So then really all that's left is cooking this in the oven just to bake it up a little bit and putting the cheese on top and just letting this kind of cook in the seasoning into the chicken. Turn you around. Alright. Hey Petra, how are you feeling? I saw you weren't feeling well. Okay, so I added the tomatoes and the taco seasoning and stir, and it says to simmer. So let me get that just kind of higher heating for a second. And it says to simmer for 10 minutes. Alright, so I really love this one. This is like so easy. Granted, I didn't have to do the chicken part of it, but it's so easy still, even if I had to. Alright, so I am going to actually, I have one yellow left for the day for myself, so I get to do, I'm going to do 2, as long as these are still good. Sell by May, okay. I'm actually going to see how it comes out by doing 2 baked of the corn tortillas, the white corn tortillas. And then for Ricky, hey Heather, oh, thanks love, I appreciate it. It's, actually it's been doing crazy things because it's too big on me, so it's getting like all this water underneath and like irritating my finger. But I refuse to get my ring sized because I just don't want to get it sized any smaller. I feel like it'll be uncomfortable. Okay, so shout out to Joanne Shannon, one of my coaches on my team for this recipe, because first of all, it smells super yummy. I kind of want to add one more can of diced tomatoes. Yeah, you think? Yeah, Petra, come on over. I'll make you dinner. I have one more can in here. Oh, and I need those. You know, you could do all sorts of stuff with this. Like you could add corn to this meal. You could add black beans to this meal. You could put your onions in it. Since these are a smaller can of diced tomatoes, I'm just going to add another one. I feel like it'd be nice to have leftovers of this tomorrow. Honestly, the meal I made on Sunday fed us for 3 days. This is my new thing. I love to cook, but I would like not to make so much food every week. So I decided that we just will, you know, try and make more of what we make at once and then eat it for a couple days. So, a can of tomatoes just to kind of spruce this up a little bit more. Does that one have something different in it? Oh no, they were both the same. What's that? I don't know what that is. Onion? I don't know, what is this? Lime? I don't know. It's a little spicy. Ooh, what's spicy that I put in there? Nothing is spicy. Alright, so you top these with some plain Greek yogurt, some lettuce, some spinach, some diced tomatoes, the cheese we gotta grate, and yeah, so I think that's really gonna simmer up nicely now. Add that little bit of tomato to it. Alright, so we will do a couple things. We will cut up the tomato and we will shred the cheese. So I didn't really do as much prep this week because I really felt so terrible on Sunday. I did my salads and I made my egg muffins, but cutting up everything ahead of time and having everything ready I just didn't do. So I was just super glad that the meal that I made on Sunday night really did feed us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if I had more energy, I would have turned it into stuffed peppers, the filling of the rice lasagna skillet, but I didn't do that. When it comes to tomatoes on things like BLTs or in salads or on tacos, I like to take all the guts out of it. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I am going to make pasta this weekend. That was my plan tomorrow night. So we can probably just eat this tomorrow, I'm not sure. But the pasta, sausage pasta I was going to make is my favorite. So that'll feed us probably Saturday and Sunday. And I was going to make a meal. My meal plan sometimes rolls into the next week, which is great. Because if you plan enough and then you have things that are stored well, then your food will last. So that means I'll do a crock pot meal for Sunday night into Monday, and then Monday dinner is already planned. So when you get into the habit of this, it just becomes what you do. Your food is just ready. You don't have to think too hard, and you save money because you're not ordering out, and you don't have this last minute like, oh, I need food. You know, you just have it. It's all ready for you. And that's just really the best way to go. So I don't miss cheese at all. And I feel better without it, honestly. Like, I don't miss it one bit, which is weird because I love cheese and crackers and I love cheese. But I really love putting the guac on. The holy guacamoles, those work well. They're one blue, so it's easy to measure. This just looks so good. You could make enchiladas with this too, I feel like. I could make mine into enchiladas. I may just roll it. I don't know. We'll have to see. Alright, that's cooking up. And I'm going to get the cheese. And then I guess I gotta go wake Caden up, right? Can't let him sleep too long. Choo choo choo. All right. Guys, this is so easy. I will post this. This is a fantastic recipe. I feel like you could do so much with this based on your containers as to whatever you needed for the day. You know, if you added corn or beans to it, then it would be another yellow. But you can add your peppers and your onions and green chilies and all sorts of yummy veggies in it to add more greens. And of course it's your blue with the cheese or with some guacamole or avocado. And I try when I shred cheese to shred enough cheese for whatever we're going to need coming up too. So we use this cheese on the pasta as well. Now that'll be difficult. I'll probably just keep picking up some ricotta cheese to put in any pasta or anything that I'm used to putting cheese in. I'll do ricotta cheese instead. All right. I am starving. I almost could probably eat by myself too. What a surprise. I don't really think I'm going to make Ricky's right now. He had to go help his dad out, so it's going to get soggy if I make his right now, so I'll just have to post a picture of it. I guess I'll get mine in the oven. I don't need to cook mine in that big pan though. I may just cook my taco shells on the stove because I don't really think I need to bake anything. It would really be to melt the cheese, and I'm not going to melt the cheese, so because I don't need cheese. Hey, Jen! Way to go on Hammer and Chisel. I know that has to be one of my next programs, but in the summertime. Alright, so here you go. Baked chicken tacos. The next step is to put them in the taco shells, and I added another can of diced tomatoes, and these diced tomatoes have lime juice and cilantro in them, and I added the peppers, and I made the homemade taco seasoning. Hey, Angela, and this is just so simple and easy. I'll post it. And then the guys get to have cheese, and I'm going to put guacamole on mine. And since I can eat in peace right now, I'm sleeping. I'm actually just going to, I'm not going to bake mine in the oven because I don't need to. So I'm going to turn the oven off, and then I'm going to, I love crisping up the white corn tortillas on the stovetop and making them like a hard shell. Like I don't cook them up like super crispy, but I flip them over until they're kind of brown a little bit on either side. And then that way they're not as flimsy, and I think they actually taste really good. Trust me, I wasn't a huge fan the first time I tried them, but you know, anything got to give a chance a couple times, and this is the pickiest person ever telling you that. So you just got to find how you like things. But yeah, so this was just, I made the taco seasoning out of the Southwest seasoning from the 21 Day Fix Extreme book. So it was just paprika, chili powder, cumin, oregano, sea salt, garlic powder, onion powder. That's the seasoning. And then it was Ricky cut up the chicken for me and cooked it before I got home. And then I cut up 1 bell pepper, and then I added 2 cans of these diced tomatoes just to change it up for a change because these have like a little high sodium in it. Not a huge fan of the sodium in this. I have to compare the regular ones. So the sodium in the regular diced tomatoes is 200. So next time, if I'm going to use both of these, I'll probably just do one of these and one of these. So Angela, the recipe actually calls to cut up the chicken and cook it over medium heat and then add the tomatoes and the taco seasoning and then simmer it. But it was just easier for Ricky to have it already done. But But you can totally cook it all really in one pan, cut up the chicken, cook it, season it with the, you know, seasoning and add everything else. No, you're fine, no worries. So it was just easier to have it all done, and I just dumped it all in. So I'm going to use some very frozen, hopefully not too frozen anymore. So you can freeze wholly guacamoles. I'm just going to actually set this on my oven right now and warm it up. Sorry, Ricky was calling me. But yeah, so I love these wholly guacamoles. One is a blue. It's just, the sodium is a little high in this as well, but it actually helps me not waste money. Because I was wasting a lot of money on avocados. So I'm just crisping up my taco shells right now, and I'm going to get out what I'm going to put on top of it. So I'm going to do the Greek yogurt on top and some spinach and guacamole, and that's my dinner. And I've been doing really well, not eating any chocolate during the week as well. And if I'm hungry at night, I've been eating an apple. So super proud of myself because I've honestly never been a snacker this whole time. And now I need to spread out my meals a little bit more. And it's been working. And then the other thing I've been doing at work is I eat half of my English muffin in the morning with peanut butter, and then I eat the other half later in the day. So I just space the carbs out a little bit more, and that's really been helping me stay full. And I really haven't even felt the need to go around and find some chocolate at work. So I've just been allowing myself to eat it on the weekends. No drinks so far. Maybe on Saturday a couple drinks. I'm not sure. It all depends. Yeah, so I'll try this for you guys. Hey, Savannah. Oh, it's good. So I'll show you now it's crisped up a little bit more. Let me just bring my stuff over here. Oh, I have tomatoes too. I forgot I cut up the tomatoes. So again, I'm going to eat in peace because Caden's asleep. And I know I got to wake him up, but I'm procrastinating. Oh, my shell is breaking. Oh, well. Hey, Elena. All right, so here's super easy. Some chicken, some homemade taco seasoning, and diced tomatoes and 1 bell pepper. You can cook the chicken first in some oil and then add everything else. And I add an extra can of tomatoes. It called for just 1. But I'm always changing them up and modifying the recipe. And adding more veggies. That's my thing. I add more veggies. I don't usually add anything else. Just add more veggies. I'm excited. This is something different. We never really have chicken with tacos. I'm super excited. And I'm trying to heat up my guacamole, which is like frozen. Because Ricky forgot to take it out. It's like not frozen and it's kind of frozen. But just have it sitting on the stove. So see, this is how I like to crisp up the tortillas. They start to get like a little brown on each side. Let me get a plate. So when it comes to like putting Greek yogurt and stuff like that on a dinner like this, I don't really measure, you know, it's just a topping. I know it's a little extra protein, so that way if I'm a little short on reds for the day, I just, you know, add my Greek yogurt in a heavier amount, and I know that I'm pretty good. But if I know I want to eat like a yogurt snack later at night, then I'll save a little bit of it for later. So funny. So this Irma, I honestly like hated it when I bought it. But then it's one of those shirts that when you wear it, everyone gives you like compliments on it, right? But yeah, I totally hated this Irma. Alright. So I've crisped up my my little shells right here. And the nice thing about adding a little bit more of the tomatoes to this is it gave it a little more sauce. So that'll help to actually bend the tacos up a little bit more. Where's my water? Alright, so. And then I'm just going to down for a moment. Where's my water? Alright, so my guacamole is sitting on the stove, defrosting at the moment. So I always put the Greek yogurt on, and so Jen, who's on here, when I used to watch her buy all this generic plain Greek yogurt, and when I started, I was like, I can only do Chobani, and then I'm like, Chobani's expensive, and then I started to buy other kinds, and then BJ's came out with their own, and it's fantastic, and it comes in a 2-pack, and it just it's no difference. So I have gotten much better about being super picky about name brand stuff. And unless it's like meat or something, you know, I'm not as horrible as I used to be with things. So I'm just going to put a yummy little amount on each of my little tacos. Alright, so I've got that there. So just a little bit of that. And then I get to add some of these. And I get my spinach. So I need my dinner to be 1 red, 2 greens, 1 yellow, and 1 blue. So we're pretty much good with the red, with the chicken and then the yogurt. And then there's tomatoes in the sauce. So that's good. And then I added the tomatoes, and there's peppers I added. And then I add the spinach. So there's good with my greens for my 2 greens. Now I'm just going to get the guacamole. It's a little icy. I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. So one of these equals a blue. If you want to measure it out, you can, but it equals a blue, I promise you. About a half avocado usually equals a blue. But if it's a big avocado, you want to measure it. That's why I buy these, because I would just waste them. Alright, so now I just will add. So I feel like this meal is a little higher in sodium than I would like for tonight, just because I added both of those tomatoes, but you know, it's broken up over a period of, you know, a lot of meals for people, like with Caden and Ricky, so at least it's not that bad. But next time I definitely, if I want to use these Rotel tomatoes, I will only do 1 can of them, so it's not as much, because again, the sodium is in everything. So, alright, here we go. There's my dinner, and I'm going to enjoy. Good. It's spicy. I'm not really sure what made it so spicy. Like, it is spicy. And Caden's going to need a lot of yogurt on this. Well, it's different. It's good. I'm going to taste the seasoning that I made. I know I didn't put any cayenne pepper in it, but it's on fire. I'm honestly not sure what that is. So, alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. And yay, I'm getting my voice back a little bit. So hopefully by tomorrow I'll be better. Alright, night guys. I'll post this after. I promise.